Welcome in, everybody, to the first streamer interview segment that's now going to be a monthly thing on my channel. To start this out, we have the amazing Ceres Gamer, who has agreed to come in and do our first streamer interview. I highly recommend checking out her streams over on Twitch at Ceres Gamer. All right, guys, let's get into it.
So go ahead, Ceres, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are and why you are here.
Hello, everybody.
Perfect. Okay. First off, somebody mentioned, I just want to bring this up real fast. Somebody said something about the posters in the background. Yes, I love the stream room. Ceres, what do you think? How did it come out? The stream room, I think, came out fantastic, right?
Oh my god, the Thing poster. Oh, and Resident Evil, dude, that's so cool.
So, cool thing about that Thing poster, if you're a big fan, the guy who plays Childs actually signed it. It's signed by Keith David.
What?
Yeah,
dude,
super hyped. He was so
cool.
nice. So go ahead and introduce yourself, do a little spiel about who you are and why you're here, because we're excited.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ceres. I am kind of a newer streamer, I'd say. I mean, I've been doing this for a little over a year, so I feel like in like the big scheme of things, I'm newer. But I really love music and I really love video games. And I was like, I need friends who play video games and like music. So I was like, I'm going to start streaming. And now I stream.
Well, we are glad that you did start streaming. We're glad you're here. Give me 2 seconds because it sounds like one of the kids literally just woke up.
Yeah, no worries.
Give me 2 seconds. Go ahead and tell them a little bit more about. Well, we'll start off with, like I said, to introduce yourself. Tell us where your handle, Ceres Gamer, came from. I'd be right back.
Okay, so my handle, I put a lot of thought into this and I wanted something that I knew would be catchy and would be kind of unique. And for those of you who might watch my streams or might know me, you know that I love to use AI a lot. So I actually used ChatGPT's help, and basically my handle is a mix. Okay, so Ceres, which is what people generally refer to me as, is a mix of my IRL name and my zodiac sign because I'm an Aries. So I combined the two to create Ceres, and it kind of worked out nicely because another important thing to me was making sure that like I could grab a good handle on most social media platforms. So I chose to do Ceres Gamer, which is kind of what I had to land on, but I was able to snag that for most platforms. So it worked out really nicely. But I have mentioned many times the day that I hit partner, I'm going to reach out to Twitch and ask them if I can change it to just Ceres, because I would prefer that.
Thank you for the follow me this one. So what made you choose AI to help you out with that? Because I know you do a lot of AI with your streaming, but what made you lean really into the AI?
Honestly, like I used AI a lot for when I was getting started streaming. Like my very first profile picture I created on Midjourney. Like it was kind of like when I was really starting to play around with AI in general. And I was actually also at the time going down a venture of like creating my own small business, which didn't end up like coming to fruition, but I was using AI for that to like help me come up with a business plan and all of this. So I was like, maybe I could use this for streaming too. And so now I use it for a lot of stuff. I use it for a lot of my Sims gameplay to come up with ideas, and it just kind of helps get me brainstorming. It's kind of like talking with a friend and just like bouncing ideas off of them.
It's awesome. I mean, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me ask, because I know a lot of people kind of shy away from AI and they don't really, there's like kind of a little bit of a taboo around using AI. Have you dealt with that at all, or have had anybody be, kind of like, hey, why are you using AI rather than doing it yourself, or have you ever run into that, or no?
I've heard a lot of people mention it, especially when it comes to creatives. People think that AI is going to replace creatives. And as a creative myself, like I would be one of the people that would be concerned about that. But I feel like once you actually get in there and use it, at this point, it's still not very intuitive. And I mean, granted, the people who are creating it and running it are keeping it kind of dumbed down at this point, but it still requires a human to really kind of navigate it and guide it to where it can get to a finished product. So I'm not too concerned about it at this point, but we'll see how much power they give it.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if it's a useful tool, why not use it? That's what I've always said. I mean, I understand where people come with the fear of AI, like you said, of them replacing it. And again, I'm in an industry also with like the heavy equipment repair stuff that I could never be replaced with robots. But
Right.
in the creative side, I do see a lot of people, especially with the art, with making art or making designs and stuff, worried about AI taking over. But I've always felt like, hey, if there's a tool available that can make things better for you, why not use it? That's always been my opinion. Thank
Yeah.
you for the follow, Elaine. And Beauty Squad said, I feel like depending on how you use the AI, it's just going to enhance the creativity. I agree. I know a few people, because I'm trying to write a book series, I know a few people that have used AI directly to help them write their books or as critiquing instead of paying, you know, not a publisher. What's the term?
Editor.
Yes, thank you. They'll use AI instead of that to help them, and it's been fantastic for smaller writers to be able to really kind of polish their book up and take it straight to development instead of having to waste time and waste money along the way. So I think it's a good thing, and it's awesome that it helped you find your name. So,
Yeah.
what got you started in streaming? You said you were focusing mainly on like a small business at first. What really pushed you towards streaming? Because what do you do? 3, 4 days a week right now, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. So I've been pretty transparent about this. I honestly was looking for another source of income. That's also why I was like trying the small business venture. And I was at a really tough position with my job. And it was something that I had kind of thought about, but hadn't really like dove into. And at the time I was kind of like, well, let me try like social media stuff first. So I started on TikTok creating Sims builds, and they got way more traction than I was expecting. And because of that, that kind of helped give me the confidence to be like, okay, maybe I actually could start streaming. So it was probably about 6 months after I started making content for social media that I decided to hit the go live button. And it was very intimidating at first, but now I'm very happy that I did it. And I have learned that there's so much more, like, I get so much more value in it than just the financial aspect. So,
um, so what do you
yeah.
think was the final push to hit that go live button?
I honestly, I kind of just forced myself to do it. I was like, if I don't do it now, then I'm never going to do it. And it was very scary the first couple of times that I did it. And I actually, like, I did it like 2 times, I think. And then I stopped for like a month. Part of it was because of my IRL job. It got a little busy, but a lot of it was like, this is really overwhelming. Like, I need to like kind of be able to wrap my head around this more. So after I took like a month off, then I just started being consistent with it and going live, 2 to 3 times a week, couple hours at a time. And I slowly built up my stamina to the point where I finally worked through like all the issues and kinks and tech stuff to where I could just enjoy it and have fun. So yeah.
Nice. Well, we're glad, honestly. Frickin' bots. Thought I
Get
had all
that
these
bot
failed.
out of here.
Hold on. Thank you, moderator. I love you. Thank you for redeeming your daily bite, Blue Eyes. And yeah, I don't know exactly where I got the idea to start this series, but I'm happy that you guys enjoy it. And Cable, we'll have plenty of people in there. Everybody loves you, dude. And yes, I agree, Luke, that Series is one of the best streamers. I feel so sad because we stream so often at the same time that I feel
I
like I miss so much
know.
of your content, and it sucks because I love
I
being in your
know.
streams. I'm getting this
I
close to the Sim self.
know.
I'm getting this close. I've got like a couple thousand to go. I'm getting
Yay.
this close.
Oh, it's going
Uh,
to be so much fun.
isn't it? Okay, so next question. I know, like, I already sent you a bunch of these. Um, what do you think was your biggest struggle in the beginning, and what was the biggest joy that you had in the beginning?
So, the biggest struggle was definitely the tech issues. It felt like for the first like 2 to 3 months of streaming, I was having a tech issue every single day, and I could not figure out how to fix it. And honestly, as much as I like hate to admit it, there's a lot of people in the streaming space that gatekeep a lot of information and aren't willing to help other creators. So I was kind of running into that where I was trying to get help from people, ask for advice, and nobody was helping. That's why I am so happy that I met Minty, because Minty was the first streamer that I had run into who was like, yeah, I'll answer anything that I can. Like anything that I have an answer to, I got you. Because that really helped so much, because it was very frustrating. You're trying to get in the groove of streaming and just being able to play the game, talk to everybody, have fun, enjoy yourself. But then if tech issues are happening every other minute, then it really throws off the groove. So that was definitely the biggest struggle in the beginning.
I do want to say, along those lines, do you know how much help you and Chili were when I first started? How many questions
Oh,
you
of
guys answered
course.
from me? So it's awesome to see that that's what you were looking for, and you turned around and gave it right back. It's awesome to find people that, like you said, there's a lot of people that gatekeep in this community. There's also a lot of people that are very selfish and very self-centered. It's awesome when you find people that aren't, like you said, like Minty, like you, like Chili, people that actually want to help others and help build them up. So that's awesome to get to see, and to see you kind of take that and turn around and do the same for others is amazing. So what do you think your biggest joy was in the beginning? Like the biggest either milestone or accomplishment or whatever gave you the most sense of accomplishment or joy and when you first started out?
I think getting repeat viewers, like people who kept coming back, because then it showed that my content and myself as a person, that like I was resonating with people and that they enjoyed me. It was a total ego boost, but it was really good to feel like, okay, like I might actually be able to do this. Like people are showing that they care, people are showing that they're into it. So that kind of helped just give me the confidence to keep going.
That's awesome. I think it really is. It's weird, right? In the beginning, when you first start getting people coming back regularly, it's kind of that odd sense of both. This is awesome, and wow, why do you want to watch me? But like, it's
Yeah, totally.
it's really really such a cool feeling. So, what would you say, along with sticking with all the good stuff? What would you say is your absolute best memory you've had so far from streaming? Like, if you had to pick one moment, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Honestly, like I really think probably it's really hard to pick one if I'm being honest, but I think so far it's my affiliate anniversary, which we had a couple months ago. And like I just was not expecting, like I was kind of just expecting it to be another stream, and in a sense it was, but I really felt all the love of just like all of my friends showing up, everybody just wanting to hang out with me and just being so happy for me and like celebrating a milestone with me. Like that just, it was such a fun experience, and it just really filled me with so much love and joy. So that really rings in my head.
It sounds like a great memory.
Yeah.
So, well, now we'll go a little bit to the sad side. What is your worst memory? Like, if there was one moment that stood out that this was just awful.
Um, Gosh, I really don't have many, to be honest. Um, I think I don't really have like a worst memory, but I will say one of the more kind of disheartening things that I've learned about streaming is that people do come and go. And sometimes you gain friendships with people and you get really close with them. And then sometimes things change, and it might be, with their life, it might be they start consuming different content, it might be something that happened, but sometimes those relationships disappear, and it's that's a part of life in general, but it's harder when I feel like in this gaming space, we all get so close. We spend time with each other multiple days a week. We spend time with each other offline. We share personal aspects of our life, and you get to know these people so well, and then just to have it kind of go away, that's kind of disheartening, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We do get so close. One of my biggest supporters, not to get on myself, but is somebody that I've known in the gaming sphere for over 10 years. We used to game together back on Xbox 360 days,
Aw.
and it's amazing all these connections that you make. And I get what you mean that it would, it sucks when you lose those. I do want to say to everybody who's coming in first time chatters, I'm not trying to be rude and ignore you guys. I'm just trying to give Series her time to talk. I don't want to be rude, but I do see you guys coming in. 23 Ranger coming in. Athena, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoy listening to Miss Series tell us all about her gamer and streamer experience. We love having her on here. Again, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I'm really happy to have you on here
Yeah.
and get to do this. It's really cool.
Of course.
Your boy forgetting
Also, hi
Discord.
Ranger, love you.
Your boy forgetting Discord exists constantly. Dude, I'll go through phases with Discord. I don't know about y'all. I'll go through phases with Discord where I'm on there like nonstop and then I won't touch it for 2 months. Hey Carp, see you in here. How about you, Series? Are you like are you super active on Discord or are you kind of more passive?
So I'll check it every day, and I check in with my server and just see what everybody's up to. I'm not super active about posting in it, but I like seeing everybody interacting. And I think I've told you this a couple of times, I have notifications turned off for Discord because I'm a part of
Yeah.
so many servers, and the constant pinging drives me crazy. So that's like one of the platforms that I have like absolutely no notifications on for.
I'm right there with you. I think when I first started joining multiple servers when I got into the streaming sphere, I had to turn the notifications off because it'll be nonstop. Just absolutely nonstop. Tibalicious, thank you for the follow and thank you for coming in for the first time chat. Appreciate you. Do you have the same TikTok or your phone? Ooh, that's actually a really good question. You have the same with TikTok or phone. What is phone explode? Oh, okay, I get what you mean. It's not a question. You're saying you either have to turn the notifications off or your phone will explode. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. I don't have notifications on for TikTok either. It was too much.
I do, but I small, so I don't get a lot of notifications. Nobody wants to
Just
follow me on
wait.
TikTok.
You'll get that video that pops off, and then you'll be like, "Oh my god, I can't stop!" I saw a video, and someone said that their phone turned into a rose toy. I was like, "Oh,
Yikes! I mean,
if
impressive,
you know."
awesome, but Jesus. Welcome in first chat, Genevieve. Glad to have you here. Okay, so next question. What do you think is your biggest milestone that you've crossed?
So this actually happened a couple of weeks ago. I got raided by Spooky Loops, who is a very, 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 very large Dead by Daylight creator. He's like kind of one of the OGs. He's like sponsored by Behavior, like kind of a big deal. But he raided me with over 1,000 viewers, and that was amazing. That was so crazy. Like, and I always, we always dream of like the bigger streamers noticing us, and it actually happened. It was just a stroke of luck, but it was very cool either way.
Okay, so perfect question for that. How was that? Like, what was that like for you to go from? I know you average about 20 viewers to over 1,000 in a heartbeat. How did you handle that? Like, did you need to take a moment? Like, what went through your head, and what was your process to kind of keep moving forward?
So to be honest, like I'm so glad that when it happened, I was doing a co-stream with Minty and Jay the Killer, because if I hadn't been, I probably would have panicked. But because honestly, when it first happened, I thought it was like a bot thing. Like I thought it was like not real. And then like hearing Minty and Jay be like, "Oh, Sarah's just got raided by Spooky Loops. That's awesome." I was like, "Oh my god, this is real." And it was a little frightening for sure, just because it's like in that moment, like you're on and you have to, like, this is your chance to like get viewer retention, to meet a new audience, to do all of that, so you kind of have to shift gears in that moment. And I do apologize to any of your viewers that might be under 18, but I do partake in extracurricular activities, and I had partaken in that extracurricular activity at that time, so it probably wasn't the best time to be rated with over 1,000 viewers, but I handled it as best as I could.
Listen, I put all my chats as 18 plus. If you're under 18, you shouldn't be in here. We allow
Okay,
for
perfect.
yeah. No, we support the use of whatever you want to use as long as you're not hurting yourself. But
Right.
so like, cause I've only been raided a couple times, smaller raids. I can't even fathom 1,000 people at one time. Was there like a moment, like you said, it felt surreal? Was there a moment where it was just like, holy shit, this is such a big step, or did that not come till after the stream?
It didn't really come until after. I mean, it came until not until after the stream. It was like after kind of the excitement of it had died down and I had a moment to think about it. I was like, I guess I was still pretty in shock for like a couple of days that it even happened. Even now, I'm still kind of like, wait, was that real? But yeah, it was definitely surreal.
What advice would you give someone if they get a big rate? Because I'm I've never had anything of that level. I don't know a lot of people that have ever been rated with that many people. What advice would you give to someone when that happens to how to handle it and how to keep moving forward?
So, okay. I don't know if you or anyone out there, like, if you have a kind of spiel that you say when you get rated, a lot of people know that I do. It's something that I started doing like very early on because I kind of get a little panicky when it happens. I'm like, oh my God, new people, like, what if they don't like me? So I came up with like this whole kind of little spiel that I say whenever I get rated, and it's kind of like a script now. And it's kind of like my go to rundown, and I think just the repetition of doing it so much has made me so comfortable with it that, like, once a big raid like that happens, you're going to panic a little bit. That's just like, it's kind of a big deal. So you're going to panic a little bit, but if you have something that you can stick to and it's just like, okay, let's just step into the routine, let's do our thing, and you just have to stay chill and calm, get through your routine, and then just remember that, like, there's okay. If 1,000 people raid you, chances are good a portion of them might absolutely hate you and never come back, but another portion of that might absolutely love you and will keep coming back forever. Some people you might never see again. Some people might come in once in a while. Like, you just have to accept that as a reality. And I think that kind of eliminates a lot of the anxiety. It's like, not everybody's going to stick around here. Not everybody will like me, but there will be some people that do. So you just kind of have to lean into that.
It's great advice, and I hope one day I need to use that. But
Yeah.
one day. So, what do you think would be like if you have to set a goal for yourself? Right, what would be the next milestone you think for you to cross?
I mean, I have two. I would really love to hit partner. That's definitely like kind of the biggest goal that I have. But I know I'm trying to be realistic in my expectations of that, and I know that it might take some time. So I'd say like hitting probably 5,000 followers, or like an average of 50 viewers. Those are kind of my like tangible goals.
Now, I know, again, I'm super, super new to this sphere. I didn't know nothing about it 6 months ago. What do you think is a realistic timeline? Like for everybody out there, for anybody who wants to stream, for anybody who wants to keep moving forward, what do you feel is a realistic time frame? Because if you look it up online, they'll be like, oh, the average at X amount. Well, the average has people that took 10 years and somebody that took 2 weeks. So what do you think
Sure.
would be your advice? Like, hey, this is reasonable. Set your expectations to, what you can achieve, not, the pipe dream of being queso blowing up overnight and hitting 10 million followers.
Right. Right. I'd say probably like on an average, and this is so broad and generic, and it really does vary from case to case, but I'd say probably 3 to 4 years. That's kind of what I've seen about the average. And that's, you know, I've seen Fortnite streamers who have reached that in that time. I've seen Sims streamers who have reached it in shorter time. I've seen, Dead by Daylight creators who have been doing it for 4 years and still striving for it. So it kind of really just depends on you and how much you're putting into your stream. Then you have people like Minty who destroy their mental health for 2 years to reach partner in 2 years, which don't recommend
That
to
that man
anybody.
that man suffered to get where he is.
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, I'd say like if you're kind of just doing it at like a normal pace, like as much as you can put into it without completely breaking yourself, I'd say about 3 to 4 years.
It seems reasonable. I would agree. Everything I've seen has been right at about that mark, but you obviously know a lot more about this than I do. That's why I ask. What would be some advice you would give to a newer or smaller streamer? Again, you helped me out tremendously, so I appreciate that. But for everybody out there, what would be some bits of advice? It doesn't have to be one thing, but like if you had to say, "Hey, look, this is some great stuff since you're newer," what would you say is the advice that you would give?
Yeah, so I would say that networking is huge. You really, really, really want to focus on getting to know other creators And if you can try to focus on creators who are around your same size, maybe even just like a little bit bigger, then you're going in, you're spending time in someone's stream, you're getting to know their community. And, most of the time it's like, oh, we stream at different times, so they can come check out my stream when you're not live, type of thing. But even more so on top of that, I really find that niching down really helped me. And when I say that, I mean, I started in the Sims community, and it is a very, very small community compared to a lot of the other like games that you can watch on Twitch. So, and that's all I streamed for like the first probably 4 to 5 months. And the rest of the time when I wasn't streaming, I really was spending all of my time in other Sims streamers' streams, mostly to learn what they were doing, kind of get comfortable with seeing how they talk to their audiences, stuff like that, but then also to get to know people. And I think also in that sense, it's good to get to know other streamers because you will gain friendships that are so supportive and so helpful when you'll need it.
So great idea, guys. No, pay attention. It's
Yes.
good. Okay, so now the next question. This was a big question I wanted to ask, and this is the main reason why I sent you the questions ahead of time was this one. Something I can't relate to and I'll never truly understand. As a female streamer, what do you see that us guys will never understand? Like we can hear about it left, right, and center. We can hear everything. From your perspective, what are some struggles and specific and benefits towards being a female streamer in this sphere?
So, I mean, I think there's kind of like the obvious one where it's like there's a lot of people that will come into your stream and try to hit on you as a woman or try to make certain comments towards you, which can be difficult because we deal with it a lot in life, like outside of online, anyways, and online too, on any platform, really. So it's kind of like I was mentioning earlier, like if you're getting into the groove of it and you're having a good time with your community and someone comes in and does something like that, it really throws things off and kind of throws the vibe off. That's why it's so important, I think, as a woman to have a strong community behind you and mods that you trust and just people that'll really go to bat for you when people try to be weird or try to be mean to you. Um, there's another side of it where a lot of females are talked down to for being females in games or not being as good at video games as some guys. I personally haven't had to deal with that too much because I tend to avoid some of those communities where that tends to run rampant. But, it'll happen sometimes even with Dead by Daylight where people will say that I'm not good because I'm a girl, when in reality I'm not good because I get really high and just want to have fun with it. But it's hard. It's I there's nothing that I can do about it except get better. And I'm truly just out here trying my best. And so to have someone just come in and you know say that or try to put me down, it's unfortunate.
So prime example
um
in the chat real quick. Amara Wiccan is
mhm.
something that literally just happened to your stream the other day. Somebody randomly popped in talking about eating your ass or something like that, and it got shut down
Yep.
so fast. So since it was a perfect example, it just happened recently. Can you tell us what exactly you did so that we know, like, hey, perfect example of how to handle that?
Well, I don't know if we handled it the best, but okay, so I try to I try to have a stream that's welcoming for people, and I want people to feel that they can be themselves and kind of sometimes, say off the wall, kind of out of pocket stuff because sometimes it can be silly and fun. So I tried to entertain it a little bit and tried to see like maybe they were just coming in to be silly or whatever. They weren't. They were being a little ridiculous. So I kind of let the dogs loose and let my chat have at them, which I wouldn't suggest. my best suggestion and how we've decided to handle it moving forward is honestly just to ban them. I know a lot of people, especially when they're newer streamers, they're really nervous about banning people, because, you know, it's a viewer, it's somebody who could come back, but you will find that if something makes you feel uncomfortable, chances are good it's making chat feel uncomfortable too. And then you could lose viewers because you are keeping somebody who makes the vibe feel weird, and it's just best to just not deal with it because there's, you know, how many millions of viewers on Twitch? Like, you'll find 5 more that are amazing and will stick around.
I love to keep chat on people. So far,
Yeah.
I've only ever had to ban one person, but chat had my back 100%, and it's a good feeling
Good.
when you know that they have your back. But it's awesome that
Good.
yours was able to take care of him for you. As long as you're having fun, who
Yes.
cares if you're good or not? People are mean and stupid sometimes. I agree, and you know what? You shouldn't. I mean, again, like you said, there's that fear of banning people, but I like that you know, like you said, don't have any fear of banning them because there's other fish out in the sea. There's a lot of them on Twitch. Don't let somebody bully you. You know, you're gonna build your community brick by brick, right? And you don't want to let people in that are gonna ruin it.
Yep.
Oh, Harwick saying, I feel like he deserved to be bullied. I love it. Kaber saying you got they held back. Oh my
They
God.
did. I was wary of it because I was like, I wanted to keep it playful. I wanted it to turn into like playful roasting, and I think it did. There were a few people I was like, okay, hold up. We don't want to like bully someone. We can't like turn this into a thing.
Was Vic in the chat? Because I could just see Vic going.
I don't remember. I don't think he was.
Oh
But Deadeye Jake, he really started, and Caber too. Caber was ready to go.
Caber seems like, and Caber, this is another personal one. Being that you were military and everything, I feel like you could come in and just go off, and I love it. I love it. The kind of guy who picks the crust off the side. Oh my God, Spicy went in. Oh my God, what did Spicy do? Oh, it's telling me all about it. But anyway, so again, the reason I really wanted to ask that question, it was one of the ones that I felt was really important to ask, is because I know my community is very, very much mostly guys. I don't know if it's just because I stream a lot of Call of Duty. It seems to be my channel that does the best whenever I'm doing that. I don't know if it's because of that or if it's just because of me being a guy or whatever it is. I don't know how that works. But
sure.
I know there's also some newer streamers in my community and there's also younger guys in my community. And I feel like it's good for all of us to get a perspective that we can't truly understand without somebody telling us exactly what it is. So I appreciate you being comfortable enough to let me ask that question and to give us an answer about it. So on to more fun stuff, because I try to like keep it on the road. It's nothing too big, nothing too small. I don't want to be all sad all at once, all stresses and all problems. Do you have plans? I've seen it on your stream that you're doing a thing for TwitchCon. Is it in your plans to go to TwitchCon this year?
I would really, really love to make it happen, and I am crowdfunding for TwitchCon. I've talked to a couple of people who have gone before. I have a streamer friend specifically who he goes every year, and he's gone to the Europe ones as well. So he's kind of like a veteran, I'd say. And he was like, yeah, you know, honestly, like I would never be able to do it if it weren't for my community and if it weren't for crowdfunding it. So I think that's really cool because it just continues to show how your community will show up for you and just like be amazing. But I would love to go solely so that I can see friends, so that I can see all of you guys and meet you IRL. And I love being social, and so I think actually like seeing everybody and seeing like their mannerisms in person, because you know, like as streamers, like not all of our viewers are also streamers, so like we don't actually know what they look like IRL. So to actually like be there with them and give them a hug and hang out with them, I think that would be so amazing. So I'm really, really hoping that I can make it work this year. So fingers crossed.
Welcome in, Bucky. Yes, we are talking about TwitchCon currently. I love your joke, Faber. A TwitchCon assure.
Yes, exactly.
I think I'm gonna have to add that to the dad jokes. That's fantastically. Welcome in, Clover. How are you doing? And I mean, that's
I'm gonna have to tell him that. He'll love that.
It's fantastic. So I'm actually, that's one of the main reasons I want to go. Like I was literally just looking this up before the stream about TwitchCon, and about,
Mhm.
I'm still mad they haven't released the tickets yet because I keep checking like every week, um,
Right.
trying to find out when they're going to drop, you know, the pricing because obviously it's San Diego. Flights and hotels aren't cheap to begin with. But I would love to go
Right.
out there and, like you said, meet people. I think that's gonna be the coolest thing about TwitchCon is less about the con and more so like if you're there, I get to meet you in person. I'm hopefully get to meet Minty in person. Some of the other
100%.
streamers that I follow. I'm really excited to get to meet people and interact on a level that isn't, through a screen. I'm really excited. I'm hopeful I can go as well. I'm probably not going to crowdfund it. I'll just take care of it myself. But I'm really excited. I hope you do make it because if I do wind up going, I would love to actually get to meet you in person. Do you think Chili would come with you? Because I know you
Yes.
guys are in real life friends. Do you think Chili would come as well?
Um, I'm not sure. I think Chili has a hard time socially, and that's kind of something that I've been hearing from a lot of people recently actually, is that um I think especially for a lot of people on Twitch, they love Twitch because they can get that social interaction without having to go out, without having to be in large crowds of people, which a lot of people really struggle with. So I think there's a decent amount of people that, love TwitchCon and love the idea of it, but because of their own limitations, it's just not in the cards for them.
And that does make perfect sense. I would especially think like people that use PNG VTubers, a lot of them don't want to show their face. I'm not saying that's why
Yeah,
all of them, but I know a
totally.
lot of people don't like showing their face because of social anxiety and stuff. So I get that there's going to be people that don't want to do that, and that makes a lot of sense. I think it also. I mean, I've been going to cons for so long. I remember the first convention I ever went to. It's a lot. It's a big experience. But
Mhm.
I would be super excited. Bucky said, "Wait, if you go to TwitchCon, I get to meet the one and only Bucky. Are you going to TwitchCon? I'm so excited. I'm super excited, Bucky. I would love to go and meet you. Yes, the U-Haul Karen. Oh, I'm serious. I don't know if you heard that story. You know that I moved recently. Like my monitors got broken and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
U-Haul, my U-Haul broke down in the middle of the move, and I was stuck on the
No.
side of the road waiting for them to come fix it. 4 hours later, they give me another truck and we get on the road.
Oh
That one broke
no.
down. In the course of a day, I had two different trucks break down on me in the middle of a move.
What?
Bucky was in the one chat I was in on Discord talking about it. It was ridiculous. It took a 3 hour thing and turned it into like
Oh
a
my
10 hour thing. It
gosh.
was ridiculous. So the joke was I became the U-Haul Karen and called them up and cursed them out. It was fun times.
No, as you should have. That's totally justified. I hope
The,
they gave you at least a bit of a
I
refund.
will say this: they actually did really, really good with how they handled it. Like, so as much as that pissed me off with U-Haul, their HR their team did fantastic with handling it. They called me
Good.
up. They wound up refunding all the mileage that I put on the trucks, and they wound up giving me a discount on my like base, which was fantastic because they went above and beyond. Um, like I didn't expect them to go that, but they did, and I was genuinely impressed. Anyways, off of
Sure.
all that fun stuff, yes, Bucky, if you do go, I would love to meet you in person. I'm super excited. Catch me outside. How about that? Ooh, who are we fighting, Luke? So the fans are a bunch of hoes. Wait, what? What? Wait, I think I missed something. Hold on. Cons are overwhelming with anxiety. Dear autocorrect, catch me outside. I was so confused. I was like, who are we fighting? Brother to the U-Haul gods. Say nope, not your. Yeah, dude, it was terrible. Okay, so now actually this goes perfectly into that question. How do you feel about? Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on, we got an ad rolling through soon.
Yeah,
Um,
no worries.
Let me ask this question, then we're going to take a quick break for ads, and then we'll get back into it. How do you
Okay.
feel about public interactions? Like, if somebody who's a follower, like not even necessarily at TwitchCon, just in general, comes up to you in IRL, how do you feel about that? Are you okay with that? Do you have like rules about people coming up to you, and if so, what would they be?
So I haven't experienced it yet. I feel like it would be very strange if and when it happens. I also, I'm sure, I think you're aware, and there's probably a handful of people in your chat that are also aware. Kind of a big, scary thing happened a couple of weeks ago. It may have been last week. I can't remember. But there's three female streamers who are very, very popular streamers. and they were doing an IRL stream, and they had a stalker come up to them and kind of go after them and try to attack them. After seeing that, I honestly think I'd, you know, my guard would go up immediately. Um, but if it was somebody that I knew, like if, let's say I ran into Caitlin one day randomly, then I'd be so excited and it'd be amazing. But if it's someone that I don't personally know, I think it would be a little frightening. But, I think there's just kind of some boundaries that you have to set around, kind of not carrying out a conversation too far, you know being pleasant, obviously, but then kind of just being like, yeah, it's really great to meet you, but I have to run or whatever, just kind of not allowing it to go too far just because you don't necessarily know where it could lead. So it's unfortunate, but um recent events have kind of had to make me rethink those kinds of interactions.
Not just that, but if you saw, I think it was Amaranth also got chased down at her home. Like,
Really? I
yeah,
didn't see
I think it
that.
was Amaranth who got chased down, and I think her husband straight up shot the dude. Um,
Oh my god, that's so
I
scary.
actually had to look it up 'cause I don't remember who it was that happened to recently. Um, hold on, I'm bringing it up right now. I do believe it was Amaranth. Yeah, this was just happened. Amaranth got um, people chased her in, and her husband actually shot one of them.
Oh my god.
Um, Jesus, it's insane how crazy people are. And for any of you guys that are new to the con scene, even outside of TwitchCon, just in general, I always recommend traveling in groups. Even I, who I can take care of myself, I prefer traveling in groups because you never know. People are crazy out there, and unfortunately, the internet has made people very comfortable saying and doing things that they should never be comfortable saying or doing.
Totally.
And Caper said, depending on if it's me or with the kiddos. So that's actually one thing we were talking about in a stream the other day. And I'll
Yeah.
ask you when we get back. I set a ceiling for myself. I never want to give above a certain limit on Twitch. If I can't go out to a convention without being bothered, because I take my kids with me. If I can't go to a con
Mm,
without being bothered, I can't go in public without being bothered, I'm stopped. Because I don't want that
totally.
to affect my kids. Wifey will be your
Totally.
bodyguard. Jellyfish, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I love you, but what are you gonna do?
Jellyfish.
Wait, dog in the background. Yes. Oh, Ceres, if you want to bring your dogs up, somebody was asking about them. If you want to bring out the puppers,
Sure.
and then
That'll be
what
good for the
we
ad
can
break.
exactly.
Poppy, girl, come
Dude,
here.
but speaking of like you were saying, like group psychosis is real. There was a thing happened back years ago, and Jellyfish knows about this, where somebody was threatening me before we went to an RTX because there was some beef between some cosplayers, right? And they were all like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something about it," and they thought they were all tough online, and then obviously once we got in person, they never did. But people feel like online they can say or do stuff, or when they're in a group they can say or do stuff. It's crazy what people get comfortable with. It's Poppy, the fur babies.
Poppy girl, what you doing?
Yay,
What the dog
puppies.
doing? So this is Poppy. That's Zed, and Nero's butt is right here. Oh, there's Nero.
We need more booty. We need more dog booty. Let's go.
Booty, booty, booty.
Oh, so that's actually really quite, and we can touch on it. What do you think? Do you have a ceiling to how big you want to grow, or do you want to be the next Kaisen?
Oh my god, I don't think I could ever make it to Kai's level. I think, and I think that is hard because I really, really do. I think the most important thing to me about streaming is being able to connect with the community and talk to people and laugh. Like my last two streams, I've been laughing so hard that my abs hurt. And you can't get that when you can't talk to your community. And that chat moves so fast, you can barely read chat messages. So it's like, don't get me wrong, the celebrity status and meeting celebrities and the money, sure, it'd all be great, but I feel like, stop, sorry, you'd lose so much of the like emotional value. Um
I think yeah,
so
I feel
I
like
think,
sorry. Go ahead.
oh, you're good. I think my cap would kind of be maybe like, let's say maybe like 5,000 viewers. I know that sounds like a lot, but I think that would probably be my cap.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you lose so much. Like I've jumped into some bigger streamers, right? Like I jumped into Philly and stream one day because I was, doing a little bit. I did the PNG thing for a hot minute, and I was like, no, it's not my thing. But like, so I jumped into Phillian's chat. I've jumped into Ninja. I've jumped into Queso, and like they're almost not even looking at chat. Some of them don't even look at
Yeah.
it. And
Yep.
again, I feel like, yeah, I know ads are running Dark Mirror. I'm so sorry. I wish, and actually, I'm really hopeful that now that Twitch is changing up the way to get like affiliate, they might be getting rid of affiliate. Please give us an option to turn the ads off, just please, because I don't know about you, but I make peanuts off the ads. Like even Mentee's talked about, you make
Yeah.
nothing off these ads, and they just annoy people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know,
I
like I feel
agree.
like you lose so much of what makes streaming so much fun. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
like I remember when I bumped into, I jumped into Emaru's stream at one point, and she actually does still try to like interact with the chat to an extent, but she seems to really only interact with the trolls half the time. I feel bad for her.
Aw.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. That poor girl. She deals with so much bullshit. Like I feel so bad for her. But I just I feel like you just wind up talking to yourself more than anything. It's like you hit this point
Yeah.
when you first start, right? And you have nobody in your chats, right? You're having one viewer or no viewers, right? And you're basically talking to yourself the entire time. Then you get to the point
Right.
that, like you're small like me, you have some people to chat to, then you get to you where you have more people to chat to, then you get to like Minty where you have a bunch of people to chat to, and you hit a point where you're chatting to yourself again. Like it's kind of like that
Right.
cycle. And so I get what you mean, and I kind of agree. I'd rather get the fun. I'd rather have fun on stream, you know? I,
I
I
agree.
I love the people that I've met. I love all the people that I've gotten to interact with and learn about and make friends with and find people to game with and be able to do stuff like this and do interviews with. Like this shit's fun. So
Yeah.
welcome back,
Yeah,
Dark
and
Mary.
I tell people all the time that like my IRL friends, they don't play video games, they don't stream. So it's like I have met people with the same interests as me, and like that is so valuable to me. Valuable, Jesus. Um to where like I never want to give that up at this point.
All right. So 1 second, since we're coming back from ads, I'm gonna do my little spiel and then we'll keep going.
Sure.
For everybody who's just coming in or anybody who's been here for a little bit but isn't super familiar with me, I am X19. I'm a newer streamer, do a little bit of variety, a lot of competitive shooters, some classic retro games and everything. And we just started up a new thing that we're going to be doing monthly of interviewing streamers, as you can see with the lovely Miss Series here. Um, so I'm newer, we're smaller, and we hang out, we have a good time. I bring the supportive gamer dad energy, and I hope you guys enjoy everything, and I hope you keep coming back. But anyways, back into the series things. I don't want to take too much time away. I know you obviously have your own stuff you have to do. I don't want to take too much of your time. We're close. We're almost done. We got like two more questions. So this was a question that I came up with because I've seen nobody really talks about it. Monetization pros and cons, like things that you think work about monetizing, things you don't think work, things you would recommend to avoid. Because I've noticed people, I did it myself. When you go into like Stream Elements, they have a thing to set up like a merch shop. And I've seen tons of smaller
Mm.
streamers do it right away. I did it right away, and I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Right? What are some things that you've seen that have worked, that haven't worked, and what you would recommend to try to avoid?
So, okay, so subathons are kind of like a big thing that I think a lot of people, especially newer streamers, they see and they kind of cling to. But I feel like subathons can be tricky. You really have to do it properly. You have to promote it properly. You have to have good incentives. And I feel like it's easier to do when you've got already a little bit of a community behind you. I've seen a lot of very small streamers try to do subathons, when they're averaging like 3 viewers, and then they get upset because it doesn't have the results that they were expecting. So obviously, like also managing your expectations there is important. So that one's kind of like a pro and a con. Um, a con that I have seen is merch. I do think that merch has to be so generic. I think a lot of people, when they first start doing merch, they'll just put their name or their logo, but it doesn't really resonate with a lot of people. Like, sure, it'll resonate with your viewers, but you kind of want something that maybe someone who's a first time viewer of your stream, like maybe it's a funny joke that's relatable, that's like an inside joke in your stream, but it's relatable to a wider audience. So they could see that and be like, oh my God, that's so funny. I think about that all the time. I want that shirt. So it's so much more meaningful and can land better than just having like your logo on merch. Um, that being said, Crease, I I have an idea for merch that I want to do that I think my community would love, but I know better and I know that I'm not going to put out merch until I have like at least 3 ideas. And that's just going to come with time, that's going to come with inside jokes, that's going to come with developing the vibe of the stream and all of that. So it could be a pro long term, but it's again kind of something that you have to do the right way. A pro, which is something that I'm currently doing right now. It's a new thing, and I learned about it from another streamer. I'm doing a cosplay bit war, and it is basically so I have 2 different characters, and any bits that are given, the donator can decide whether they want to fall under one character or the other. And then whoever has the most at the end of the month, I'll do a cosplay of that character. So it's kind of like, I'm sure sometimes if you've been to like a restaurant and they have the tip jar, sometimes they'll do like a tip war and you can like put it on either side of the jar. It's kind of the same sort of idea, but on stream. And people are loving it. It's so much fun. And it's nice because people can they can, give as little as 1 bit or as high as 5,000 bits. It's as
Looking at you,
much as
Caver.
they want to give. Yeah, looking at you, Caver. So it really allows a lot of people to participate as well. It's not like someone has to buy a merch piece for $25. It kind of includes anybody and everybody.
So I got 2 specific examples I want to ask you. The first
Hmm.
being donations and donation rewards, because I do see different groups do that. Like, hey, like I know that you do. If people donate, there's different rewards that you give. Have you seen that as successful, or does that feel like it's kind of, just not something that's really ever taken off? Also, I will be right back, guys. Please don't just give me. Go ahead.
You're good. So I feel like it can be beneficial, but I feel like kind of with anything, with any of these ideas, you have to promote it. You have to kind of really remind people, kind of like shove it in their faces. That's why I love the idea of timers, like bots, like Stream Elements, Mix It Up bot, they'll have timers. So it's like every 15 minutes, a message will pop up in stream. So I'll do a lot of those, mostly because I have a lot of personal anxiety with like trying to like sell myself to people. So that kind of allows it to be brought up without me having to like bring it up because I have a hard time with that. But, you know, promoting it, talking about it, telling people, reminding people, get kind of annoying about it. Again, if you guys have ever watched Minty, he like if he's doing a giveaway or something, he'll bring it up a lot and he talks about it a lot, especially because in the duration of your stream, people are going to come and go the entire time. Someone might not be there for the first 2 hours, but they'll jump in on hour 3. So if you only talked about it at the beginning of your stream, then they're not going to hear about it. So it's like you have to get used to just constantly promoting.
Something that I personally need to work on because I hate talking about my own stuff. I feel like plugging on stuff, like Kater said, doing plugs, the ick is real.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so kind of like grimy sometimes. But like you said, setting up
Yep.
the timed out bots sounds like a great thing. Welcome in, Deadeye. How you doing? So for me, I get what you're saying. The second one I want to ask, and it's something I've done. We saw Minty do with the blonde hair, which was just amazing. And unfortunately, me having orange hair instead of pink hair. What do you think about doing monthly goal rewards? Because it's something I have personally had some success with. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. That's kind of something that I'm trying to do this year, and I've kind of started it. Um, but yeah, I think kind of having like a monthly monetization thing is a great thing to do. And I think like keeping it like variety, like like doing the bit war 1 month, but then doing a subathon the next month, and then, doing like you said, like if we reach this many um subs, then I'll dye my hair. Or yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, guys, if we get Ceres to partner before the end of the year, she has to dye her hair bright pink. What do you think? If we get you to
Dude,
partner by the end of the year,
I tried. So my first year on Twitch, so all of last year, I had a goal running, and I did not promote it as much as I probably should have. But I said that if I made Twitch partner by the end of 2024, I would get a tattoo of the Twitch logo. And it didn't happen, which I'm a little gracious that it didn't.
so actually along those lines, Gabriel can tell you about. I just put in my Discord. I'm doing a monthly goal that we're already most of the way to. If I hit all the goals by the end of the month, I'm letting the group choose, giving them options. I'm not letting it carte blanche, but I'm letting them choose what my next tattoo is going to be, and I'm going to do it live on stream.
There you go.
Yeah, and bruh, I could. I don't want the Twitch logo. I don't think I could do that one personally. Um,
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, especially like, if your community likes tattoos, get them involved. I think getting people involved is so important, and it makes people feel like they're a part of something. And I think that's a huge component to streaming that people don't think about.
yeah, to live tattoo. Caper actually posted a TikTok about it earlier. That we're trying to do that. I mean, yeah. So, I like it. I think it's been one of my more successful things to help with growth. So but again, I ask because, again, that's why we're here. I want to know different perspectives from people who have been there, done that, and grown, which is awesome. So now, speaking of
Definitely.
growth, we're getting to the end. I do apologize, guys. I don't want to take up too much y'all's time. Growth both on and off Twitch. Like, obviously, it's hard to grow on Twitch. Everybody knows the algorithm isn't fantastic for finding new people. What has worked the best for you for growing your channel? Because you crossed 1,000 before the end of the year, right? Or was it right after the
Yes.
beginning of the year?
Or
So
it was right after the end of the year. Yep.
you
Yep.
crossed 1,000. You're still growing, which is fantastic. So what would you recommend, and what do you think has been the biggest thing? I mean, I know you mentioned earlier that networking definitely helps, but
Mhm.
off of Twitch, what has been something that has helped you grow?
So off Twitch, I would have to say probably doing content on other social media platforms. So, like I said, I started doing TikTok videos before anything else, TikTok and YouTube. Um, and I think just kind of building a presence where there's more viewers, because there are more viewers on TikTok than there are on Twitch. Same with YouTube. So just kind of getting your face out there in multiple places. It's kind of like you're not just putting all of your eggs in one basket. So, and that also kind of ties into like niching down. I got really lucky. Again, my Sims content really blew up on TikTok. It is still difficult to convert TikTok viewers over to Twitch, so I'm still trying to figure out the formula behind that one. But it's just kind of getting out there and getting your face in other places, and it's hard. It's a lot of work, and making content is, you either love it or you hate it, I think. And I love and hate it. um but I do think it's very important, because as many people talk about, like, Twitch is a great platform, but there is really no discoverability on it. So you're kind of forced to, if you can't network and if you can't, talk to other people or get in with other streamers who can help you out, then you kind of just have to get your face out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, look at how we found. I mean, I don't know about you, but I found Minty through TikTok. I
Mm-hmm.
found you through Minty's chat. Networking, other social
Mm-hmm.
medias definitely work. Now, this is a little bit of a touchy question, so feel free if you don't want to answer this. Um,
Okay.
do you feel like it is easier? Because I forget what the streamer's name was. He's the guy who's had Jenna Meowri on the stream a few times and put the shot collar on her. I forget what his name was. If you know what I'm talking about, or know who I'm talking about, he said it, and I've heard competing things from different people. Like, I know Minty hands down refutes this every single time. But what do you think? Do you think it's easier to grow in the beginning as a woman? versus being a man? I know y'all have a much firmer glass ceiling that you hit than we do, but do you feel like it's easier to grow in the beginning? Or is that something that you could
Um,
use to help you grow in the beginning?
I think potentially it's hard for me because, Minty says that female streamers grow quicker and then they plateau. And I haven't hit that plateau yet, but I could totally see it being a very valid thing. Um, but at the same time, people talk about how it shouldn't take that long to hit affiliate. And there's a bunch of streamers that started at the same time as I did, and they hit affiliate way quicker than I did, and it took me a little longer to hit affiliate than they did, and they were women as well. So it's hard for me to say specifically. I haven't seen too much experience with it one way or the other. I guess my take would be I think it comes more down to the games you're playing, the content you're putting out, like what you're doing personally for your own personal growth. I think that's what makes the difference. And just your personality, the way you can interact with your audience. Like there's so many factors that go into it. Um, and I could be an outlier. I definitely could be an outlier in the fact of like, I haven't really, I don't think I've seen like too many people who come to my stream just because I'm a woman type of thing. I could be wrong,
Well, I do
but
appreciate I do appreciate you answering that because again, it's a perspective that I don't have. I don't really think
right.
I'll ever have an answer to. I've noticed people who started right around the same time as me that blew up a lot faster than I did. But then I've seen people who started around the same time as me that have gone nowhere. Like Linear Crypts,
Yeah.
it took 4 years. Sometimes it takes longer. It really does depend. And I like what Luke said. Rating is
Mm-hmm.
so helpful. I try to rate out at the end of every stream. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think rating helps, in your opinion?
I do. Yes, I raid almost every single stream. And that's something that I learned from the Sims community. It's almost like it was like almost frowned upon. Like if you were a Sims streamer and you didn't raid out at the end of your stream, people would like judge you for it. So I just got in the habit of it right off the bat, and I think it's great. Like I get plenty of follows that way because there are so many other streamers that are like, "Oh, great, like let me drop you a follow. I'll check out your next stream and check out your content." And then you just meet more people that way.
I mean, I 100% agree with you. Sorry. Now, what do you think is more important when rating out? Do you try to rate out according to content you like, according to to new communities? Like, how do you choose who you rate out to? Because I've noticed I fall into that trend very often where I try to rate the same people because it's people I follow, it's people whose content I like, and I feel like I've kind of
Yeah.
pigeonholed myself a little bit. So, how do you choose who you rate out to?
So I'll spend a decent amount of time off stream checking out new creators. So I'll go to the categories that I enjoy and also the categories that I play because kind of like a personal rule that I have for myself is like I think about if people have just spent 4 hours watching me play The Sims, I'm not going to raid into Call of Duty, someone who's playing Call of Duty, because chances are probably good they don't like to watch Call of Duty. So I'll kind of watch my stream throughout the duration, see like especially now that I am playing multiple different games within the duration of my stream. Like let's say I start with Sims and end with Dead by Daylight. If I see for the duration of my stream that I had a lot of Sims viewers in there, then I might try to raid to another Sim streamer. Or if I was just playing Dead by Daylight and I had a lot of Dead by Daylight people in there, then I'll try to raid to another Dead by Daylight community member. Um, I also have another kind of personal rule, and this is something I picked up from Minty, where I very, very rarely will raid somebody that I haven't personally checked out myself. Just because you don't know, like if you've never seen their stream before, they could be a totally different vibe than you have on your stream, and your community might not mesh with it very well. And then it could just create this weird energy for your next stream. Um, so that's another thing that I take into consideration. So because of that, I do spend a lot of time off stream, checking out other creators, seeing their streams, finding other people so that I can have variety of people that I raid into.
I agree. I mean, I think that's super important is finding people. Like, I won't rate into something I haven't watched. I agree with you 100%. That's something I
Hmm.
also learned from Minty. I will not rate into something I haven't watched because, like you said, and also, what if they just some fun? They're fucking nuts, just spewing random crap. You don't want to take your
Yeah.
community into that. Okay, Brian,
Yeah.
appreciate you. Okay, so last question I have. I do want to ask the chat if there's anything you want to ask Series. If you guys want to drop it in the chat box real quick, and we'll go through it. If there's any questions you guys have, if not, it's all good. Um, my last question for you, and it's actually something I wanted to ask you specifically. You have very, very good, like, your room, your peripherals, all your stuff. Now, obviously, not everybody has the funds to start out big in the beginning. What do you feel is the most important to put your funding into when you start, when it comes to peripherals, when it comes to setting up your setup? What is you think the biggest thing that is good towards gearing towards like spending your money on?
I think like having a good mic, and granted, like this mic that I have, let's see if I can get it in frame here. It was like, I think I got it for like $25 on sale on Amazon. I think it was normally like $40. And this thing works perfectly great for me. So I think that, yeah, audio is super important. Like, it's I feel like there's so many people that are lurkers on Twitch and they will just listen to you. And so if your like audio is distracting or messy sounding, it makes it harder for people to listen and lurk. Um and then outside of that, I'd say just make sure that the computer or console or whatever you're running can handle the games that you want to play. Um I've seen streamers who, sometimes you have to run off of what you've got, and it might be a laptop or it might be, an older PC. If you know that your system can't handle certain games, then don't try it. Just either wait until you can upgrade your stuff or find other games to play, because you're just going to like frustrate yourself, and your PC will crash, you won't be able to run the game, and then like I said, you can't really get into that groove of the stream. So I'd say those are kind of the two biggest things. Aside from that, your background, like, I don't like really think people care. I'm super particular about my background just because I have that type of brain. But if you watch some of the biggest streamers in the world, like Queso, you like, his background is so generic. He doesn't even have like good lighting.
It's like
But
just sitting in a
so
living
I
room.
think,
Wait,
yeah, like it, I don't think stuff like that should be the focus. I think your audio and just making sure your system can handle what you're trying to do, I think those are the two most important things.
makes sense. Personal question. This is just mainly for me. How do you like the Secret Lab chairs? I know they're a bit of a price point, but how are they? Is it worth it in your perspective?
So, okay, so when I first got it, it hurt my tailbone. Like, it
Really?
was so firm. Yeah, but I've gotten used to it. And I wish it had a footrest. But aside from that, I think they're great chairs. The ergonomics are amazing. I love having this pillow, but I mean, I really like, I think if you've got the funds for it, it's a great chair. But if you don't have the funds for it, do not stress yourself about it. You can find other chairs that are just as good. I will say the chair that I had before it was like an $80 gaming chair off of Amazon, and that thing was a piece of crap.
Yeah,
So
I made
like,
that mistake in the
try
beginning
and do
too.
some yeah, try and do some research, but know that you don't have to have, and it's not really like making that huge of a difference for me to have this chair.
The main reason
It's
why.
more of,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, you're good. I was just going to say it's more of little things, like I can move the armrests to certain angles that are a little bit more comfortable for my arms, but it's like not a make or break thing by any means.
I think the biggest reason I'm geared towards them is I want one of the XLs because if you look like at the chair, my shoulders are well above where your shoulders are supposed to be on this. I'm not even that big of a guy, and I feel like a lot of gaming
Right.
chairs are not meant for guys who are any sort of like average build. Like if you're not, I don't know. Personally, I feel like they're too small. I like the XLs just because they're bigger, but that's just my personal thing. So, anyways, we do have a couple questions from the chat so far. So Luke asked,
Okay.
how did you handle the face anxiety and talking to a camera when you first started streaming?
So I forced myself to do it. In my first couple of streams, I didn't have a cam, and I thought that's why I wasn't getting viewers. Was I was like, people can't hear me, and I just saw. I didn't really like at that point. I hadn't really explored like what VTubers were, and I didn't really know that there were people who were being successful with VTubing. So in my mind, I saw if I want to be successful, if I want to have a decent amount of viewers, then I'm going to have to show my face. So I literally just forced myself to do it.
So,
Which probably isn't the best, but it's just something that if you do it and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it.
okay. So sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and take a chance, huh?
Yep.
Now Caitlin asked, I love this one. Who is your favorite DBD character and why is it Sable?
Sable's my girl. I don't know, because she's cute and goth and witchy, which I think I resonate with, and she's a freaking babe.
We stand goth
I'd
girls in
hit
this
it.
chat. Bro, we stand goth
Yes.
girls in this chat. You already know where my taste goes. We've talked about it enough in Discord. You know where my taste goes. Another question from Caitlin. Do you fear your in real life people like coworkers finding your channel and that it'll affect you professionally?
No, I mean, no, I don't. Like a couple of my coworkers know that I stream. I think my boss has looked at my stream like once. But I have that kind of relationship with my boss where she just knows how I am. So and I kind of pride myself, the way I am on stream is exactly how I am in real life. Like you do not get a different version of me online versus IRL. So she knows exactly how I am, so it wasn't really weird for me to like show her. Granted, like I don't want everybody to know I stream because I don't, want them coming in here and hanging out. Um, but and I've thought about it. Okay, so like also on that other like side of things, if I weren't at this job anymore and if I were looking for a new job, I wouldn't tell them that I stream. I would kind of try to keep them separate until I felt comfortable and felt like they could handle it. But also at the same time, I don't think I'd want to be working for a place that didn't align with like who I am as a person in general. So it probably wouldn't happen anyways.
Well said.
OT5, no.
No,
I will
OT5,
not.
yes. OT5, yes. No, wait, serious. We should do a contest and let the group chat decide who can do the better uwu. You and me.
I mean, okay.
Okay. Give us your best uwu, and then I shall give my best uwu.
All right. Hello?
Fantastic. Okay. and guys, you can vote on this. I'll actually put the vote up. Now my uwus tend to be a little bit dark, a little more metal. So uwu.
Oh damn, that was actually really good.
Yeah. So let's do a vote. We'll let you guys vote on which one you guys think is the better. It means absolutely nothing. This is just for funsies. But go ahead. Bringing it up now. Go. Enjoy.
Next time, do it in French.
No, anyway. Clip it. Let's go. Feldspar, clip it. Make all the clips. We're here for it. Oh yeah, Clover was in here when I put up a few videos of my like singing and guitar playing yesterday. I have some stuff on my TikTok. A competition for the endings. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. Any other questions y'all have for series before we wrap this up? Anything you want to say specifically that you feel like wasn't asked that you want to touch on?
No, I mean, I think you did a great job putting this all together. The questions were great. I think you covered a lot of different things, and I think it's really cool that you're doing this, and I hope that you're able to get more creators that do it with you, and I think it's awesome. Proud of you.
By the way, you're winning hands down on you.
I'd like to say that I voted for you.
You're the only one, and I appreciate you. Not a question, just lots of love and support, and that's what we want. And honestly, I was really excited to do this because I thought it was a good way for, because not everybody in my community is part of mentees or part of your community. Not everybody in your community is part of mentees or part of my community. Like we don't all have the same people. We have a lot of overlap, but not all the same. I think it's really cool for us to get to have exposure to other content, you know, to other people and other stuff like that. And other perspectives and other ways of looking at things, you know. So I really, really enjoy it.
Totally.
All right. So
Totally.
since we got no more questions, I'm gonna do a little outro spiel, and I'll have you do a little if you want to say farewell or anything, and then I'm gonna wrap up my stream after that. But I do want to say this is the first of what I'm hoping will become a series of interviews with a bunch of other people. Like you said, I hope to get more. Minty said he may be interested. Help me out with that one if you want series. Convincing him to get in here and do this with me. I'm really happy that this went as well as it did. I hope to do more in the future. Thank you so much, Ceres, for agreeing to be part of this and being the first person to do it with me. This has honestly went better than I could have hoped it did. Luke has another question. Go, ask another question. But to everybody who came and hung
Isaiah,
out,
hurry.
for everybody who's coming in and hung out this whole time, who asked questions, who participated, thank you guys so much for coming in here and for being a part of this. Thank you guys for keeping everything, you know, in a positive manner. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I hope to see you guys back here soon. When are you doing my makeup? Because yours is on point. Ooh.
You know you can come up here whenever you want and we'll hang out and I'll do your makeup. Maybe we could make that like a stream goal for Isaiah to come up and I'll do his makeup on stream.
Yes. Dad joke. Okay, hold on. Somebody redeemed a dad joke. I have to bring that up. Give me 1 second. Have you been in here for the dad joke series? This has become
I haven't.
This has become a thing. We have a list. Like hold on. I'm gonna bring it up real fast so you guys can see, because I have a list with hundreds of dad jokes at this point, and we keep adding to it. So you know, fun times. So let's do this one. Okay. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What the fish? Oh no, sorry, that's not a good one. I gotta look through because we have so many on here. You know, I could tell you guys a joke about pizza, but it's a little cheesy. And last one: when does a joke become a dad joke?
When you become a dad.
No, when it becomes a parent.
Oh my goodness.
Appreciate the dad joke, Redeem. They're fantastic. So go ahead, Ceres, if you have anything or a little outro that you would like to do, we'd love to hear it.
I appreciate everybody from my community who came through and, you know, wanted to come hang out for the interview. It's very cool of you guys, always supportive. And I love that you guys are so willing to check out my friends and my other streamer friends like Ethan. And I hope that this has also inspired you to come hang out in Ethan's stream as well, because he's a very cool guy. And he, you know, I can tell, I've told him this since when I first met him. I can tell that he wants this. I can tell that he cares about this and is passionate about this. And so I feel like he's going to be very successful. So I definitely think keep an eye on this one because he's going to be doing big things. So
I appreciate you, Miss Ceres. And I know you do got to run. Again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And again, for everybody in the chat hanging out, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I shall tune in very soon. Bye,
Yay. Bye, everybody. Thank you for having me.
We want to thank Ceres Gamers for coming in and hanging out and doing that interview with us, for answering all of our questions, all the feedback, everything. You were fantastic. Thank you guys so much.